And this will go on for months or years, because it's imperative that we not allow the precedent to be set that a peaceful protester who is liaising with police.
Why do all Zionists have little teeny weeny
Oh, look at
mushroom
you!
dicks?
I thought you were in jail.
Oh, well, breaking news for Ezra Levant. Dina's not in jail.
Oh, hi everybody, Ezra Levant here. It is Thursday morning. Behind me, the Ottawa courthouse. And in about half an hour's time, we will begin the second day of the sentencing hearing for Tamara Lich and her co-accused Chris Barber. They were the leaders, or as much as there was any leadership, of the trucker convoy, which 3.5 years ago was the greatest civil liberties movement in a generation in Canada, which helped end the lockdown in our abused country. It was a peaceful protest, the largest in history, I put it to you, but it embarrassed the government, so they've been prosecuting them ever since, the longest mischief trial in Canadian history. Anyways, yesterday the Crown prosecutor made her case demanding 7 years in prison for Tamara Lich and 8 for Chris Barber. Absolutely absurd. Never been a mischief sentence that long in history for protest. There's a lot of mischief charges for protests in Canada. They're typically left-wingers with Greenpeace or the G20 anarchists. I've read or heard 20, 30 cases of these because I've attended different mischief hearings for freedom fighters. And typically, if it's your first offense and there's nonviolence, you don't get any jail time. And Tamara Lich, by the way, has already served 49 days in jail because she was not bailed immediately. Pretty outrageous. In fact, I see Tamara Lich walking towards the court right now just by coincidence, and that's security that we have provided to her just because there's some riffraff in downtown Ottawa, and I'm not just talking about the politicians. Anyways, today, Lawrence Greenspawn, Tamara Lich's lawyer, will make his presentation. Like I said yesterday, the prosecutor, crazy demands. I mean, rapists in Canada don't do 7 years in prison, and to have that for a peaceful political protester is absurd. But this is not a true criminal trial. It never was. It was a political vengeance vendetta. I'll be in there live tweeting the proceedings. By the way, yesterday, Chris Barber's lawyer, Diane Magus, made a presentation. I thought she did fairly well, but Lawrence Greenspawn is the star of the show. He really is a very senior criminal counsel in Ontario. I've gotten to know him a little bit over the years, and I told him once that if I ever get into deep trouble myself, I want him to be my lawyer. He's that good. He's got a team with him. There's actually 2 other lawyers with him, and I know that sounds like a lot, but the government has made this an astonishingly complex case. Mischief trials of this nature for a non-violent offense typically take a couple hours, and of course the judge just says, "Don't you do that again, get out of my courtroom," no jail time. Like I say, I've seen so many Greenpeace cases. The only mischief cases that result in jail time are the violent ones, like Antifa. We heard yesterday that rioters who were smashing police cars, burning things, they got 17 months or 21 months. Imagine demanding 84 months from Tamara Lich. It really is a travesty of a mockery of a sham, as Woody Allen would say. So I'll be in there live tweeting. I'm very much looking forward to Lawrence Greenspawn's presentation. Originally, there was some thought that things would take a third day, but it's clear that won't happen. I just want to say one last thing before I go in. I think that Tamara Lich is one of the best people I've ever met in my life. I mean, I didn't know her before she was arrested. I actually never met her. Later on, we offered to help her crowdfund her legals, and I'm not going to tell you how much that is, but you can guess in your mind. 3 lawyers, including really one of the top criminal defense counsel in Ottawa, who have been on the longest mischief trial in Canadian history. I think it's 48 days of sittings. It won't surprise you to know that it's been expensive. And there's no way a normal person like Tamara Lich could afford that. And by the way, there's no way that a millionaire would afford that. By the way, let me interrupt myself. There's the Brinks truck, which comes and goes every day. I don't understand why there's so much money in the courthouse. Got to pay them prosecutors, I guess. The reason I mention that is police shooed away our billboard truck, which we brought to town to support Tamara Lich. Police said it was illegal to stop in that stopping zone. Of course, they only apply that to Rebel News. They don't apply that to the CBC truck that was there the other day, or the Brinks truck. Here's my point about Lawrence Greenspot. He's going to do, I'm sure he'll do a great job today. I'm very excited to hear it. He's highly respected, not just by other lawyers and judges, but you can see even when he talks to media that are hostile to the truckers, they know that he is not partisan, and he is a wealth of information. I'm not going to call him scholarly, because that suggests he comes across professorial. He doesn't. He's a great communicator, but he has so much knowledge. It's like he's teaching when he does these press conferences. I really like it. And you can see the respect that even left-wing media have for him. It's actually quite something. And I'm really glad he's the lawyer for Tamara Lich. I want to say one last thing, and then I got to run in because I don't want to be late. You might be thinking, how can I help? We've already crowdfunded the security for Tamara, and I promised that I would pay for her, not me, but I would crowdfund to our shows, her flight, she drove. We're going to cover her gas, we're going to cover her hotel, her meals, stuff like that, because those expenses add up. I'm not going to tell you how much they were last time. We covered it last time too. We've already crowdfunded that, so thank you to everybody who chipped in yesterday. What I would invite you to do if you want to help is to help pay for her legal bills. And here's why. We're not done. Yeah, the sentencing hearing is today, and in a couple weeks the judge will release her ruling. But Tamara Lich has decided, unless I'm misinformed, to appeal her conviction, even if she gets 0 sentence, which is what the law would suggest. So we are not done. And this will go on for months or years, because it's imperative that we not allow the precedent to be set that a peaceful protester who is liaising with police.
Why do all Zionists have little teeny weeny
Oh,
little
look at
mushroom
you!
tips?
I thought you were in jail.
Oh, well, breaking news for Ezra Levant. Dina's not in jail.
Well, isn't that funny? I'm talking on video, and one of the she's a convicted criminal who just got out of prison. That's astonishing. That's actually the person. Wow. First we saw Tamara Lich, and that was Deanna Sharif, who was actually convicted, I think, of assault. That was one of the crazy protesters that's been hanging outside the front of the courthouse. Actually, we got a security guard precisely with her in mind. She's crazy, and I'm not saying that as an insult. I think she's actually mentally ill. Sometimes she brings her young daughter to crazy pro-Hamas protests. I'm glad she didn't get physical there. Wow. The people you meet in Ottawa on the street, I'm glad she didn't get physical. She probably is aware that she would go straight back to prison, because I think she just got out of jail. Boy, let me get back to my story. I'm trying to tell a story here. Unfortunately, we have to fight back against the unlimited resources of the state. They want to condemn Tamara Lich, and through her, the entire trucker protest, the entire convoy. And that's why we have to appeal and get the right outcome, which is an acquittal. Hi, good morning. And I think there's a great chance of an appeal. I think I'm going to walk and talk as I go in. And don't give up hope. Remember, the convoy itself was attacked using the Emergencies Act. And believe it or not, the Federal Court of Canada ruled that that was illegal and unconstitutional. So you actually can sometimes win in court. I've had a very unusual 8 minutes chatting with you, encountering different folks. I'm slightly distracted. I want to go into the court. But let me close by saying this. If you want to help, go to helptamara.com. That's a website that leads you to a crowdfunding page for the Democracy Fund, which is a registered charity in Canada for public interest law cases defending freedom. So if you want to be part of this, but don't know how, I think the best answer is to help cover those upcoming legal bills. We're caught up on the legal bills now, but if we do the appeal, and there'll be another hearing, and there'll be more of these shenanigans. I mean, they've already trapped her in this legal system for 3.5 years. There's some other citizen journalists showing up here. It's an interesting place being outside the Ottawa courthouse. I'm going in now. If you want to help, go to helptamara.com. You'll get a charitable tax receipt from there, by the way, because that money goes through the Democracy Fund, a registered CRA charity. And I think the fact that we were able to get Tamara Lich top criminal counsel has made all the difference. That's some mainstream media here as well. That's the CBC. I haven't watched their coverage. Maybe I should. In a way, I really don't care what the government broadcaster has to say. All right, everybody, I'm going to go in. I'll be live tweeting. What a strange little morning. All right, talk to you later. And help out at helptamara.com. Thanks.